Boom, baby. We are live. Welcome to Interview with the Man, episode 709. An unstoppable awakening is happening. Look, I know everybody out there likes to paint a grim and dark future for everybody, but these guys are wrong. They actually have a history of being wrong. And actually, I have a history of being right. And I'm not trying to gas myself up here, but in 2019, I said the red pill will go mainstream. Here we are. And I'm telling you, things are going to get better. It is easy to take the drink of pessimism and just spread your negativity and cry online and attract an army of losers. That's not what we're doing here. I'm going to show you guys irrefutable evidence with all the people you saw in the thumbnail of like people who have come to prominence. Donald Trump, Andrew Tate, Vivek Ramaswamy, Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson. All these people have been under attack. All these people have sustained these attacks, and they have come up and they've done so much more for the human race. Elon Musk is doing great things with Twitter, X now, and we're going to break down everything on today's episode. And I'm going to show you why the future is bright. That is why you need to take action now and get on your purpose and get ready to reap the rewards that are coming for those who are willing to work hard and make it happen. Until then, let's just take a quick look at what we got cooking up here on December 28th with Body Language Mastery 4.0. My name is Jonathan, and I used to be just like you. I was just an average guy that wanted to date a few nice women so I could find what I liked and just move on with my life. I numbed myself with distractions so I could ease the pain. But in reality, it really never went away. Without any help, it's just not that easy. And even like you, I looked for answers online, but the results were hard to find.
If you sun your balls, there is a study. It's an older
a 3-pack for $29.95. Famous Bad Boy series Bond 2. Ladies find this pleasing.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
I didn't want to take sides in some stupid online argument. I wanted results, and after years of failure, I found the one secret thing that changed it all.
Welcome aboard.
After learning this skill, my eyes were open to a whole new secret world that only a few people will ever see. I went from having no confidence to having pure, undeniable proof that I could find women anywhere in the world that were totally into me. So of course, naturally, I became more confident. I went from a confused and lonely guy to a man with so many options that I literally cannot date them all.
See what you just saw? It may look like a commercial, but that is my reality. I see a world that nobody can see through the secrets of understanding body language. Now ask yourself a question. How long are you going to wait and go through those lonely nights, endless rejections, and feeling insignificant until you decide to take action and change your life today? I've been doing this since 2019. And I have thousands of men that have changed their lives from Tokyo to Tampa, from Chicago to Saigon. There's only one name in the game, and that's me, MLD. Join us in the Masculine Empowerment Network, and we'll change your life today.
That's right. Join the almost 100 people already on the waiting list here at the Masculine Empowerment Network. We have 91 brand new members on the waiting list for Body Language Mastery 4.0. So stop what you're doing right now. If you're not on the waiting list, I'm telling you, you're going to regret this. It's going to the sign up window is going to pass you by, and then you're going to continue to see that girl at the gym. You're going to continue to see that girl at Starbucks. You're going to continue to see that girl out in the club. And you're not going to have the confidence to talk to her. And then you're going to walk away and you're going to feel like a loser. And you're just going to be caught in that cycle again and again and again and again until we're both dead. Okay. So break the cycle, make 2024 your year, start out by joining us in the Masculine Empowerment Network and take an active stance in changing your life for the better. I have testimonials of thousands of men whose lives have been completely turned around. Okay. So to get on this waiting list, you just got to go to masculineempowermentnetwork.com. Put your best email address in right here. Just put it right here and click here to sign up. It's completely free. You're not paying for anything. You're just getting on the waiting list, right? If you want, scan the QR code right here in the upper right-hand corner on the screen, and you'll be locked and loaded. Let me show you real quick, and we're going to jump right into today's episode. I'm not going to waste too much time on this, okay? But for those of you that are serious about changing your life, here's the opportunity. It's right in front of your eyes. Okay. You get Body Language Mastery 4.0, which is a video training guide to read a woman's body language and know if she's attracted to you. We have locked down the model, and we're going to be filming it on December 28th. We're literally filming it December 18th. We're filming it 10 days before debut. So it's going to be the most up-to-date knowledge that we have here at the Masculine Empowerment Network. Number 2, you get 20 webinars with experts in money, muscles, game, and frame. The total package to level you up. And this is a membership that goes all the way until April 1st. If you cannot attend those webinars, which are live, they'll be recorded and they'll be stored at a database for you to access at a later time. Okay. In addition to that, you can access to immediate support via the Telegram chat. Okay. And that right there is upon signing up. You literally get access to that. So you get all this and so much more. But you have to scan that QR code right there, get on the waiting list, and you'll be locked and loaded. I'll take a real quick. The schedule has not changed since yesterday, but it will be updated very, very shortly. This thing's going to be nice and filled out. Okay. Real quick, this is what the webinars look like. So when you join us at the Masculine Empowerment Network, it is a full live interactive education. Okay. We're going to show you how to do everything you need to do. I'm starting off with me, MLD, how not to get scammed. And then that very next Wednesday morning, we're going to talk about the truth about cryptocurrency and the next bull cycle. Ryan Fowler is our frame expert. He's going to be talking about overcoming procrastination and self-sabotage. Red Pill Thor is going to be talking about creating a dominant masculine presence. And Wraith is going to be talking about frame and boundaries it creates. And then the very next week, Elevate Cyber is going to talk about how he can train you remotely at home to get a 6-figure cybersecurity job in 8 months. 8 months. This is not a lie. He's been doing this. Check out his YouTube channel, Elevate Cyber, if you don't believe me. He is a proud graduate of the Masculine Empowerment Network, alongside people like Myron Gaines, Andrew from The Legal Mindset, and so many more people. So don't delay. I'm telling you right now, get on the waiting list and let's get you locked and loaded. Appreciate you guys for joining me today. Real quick, I want to show you something funny too. You guys want to see something funny before we start? Okay. Look at this. I always find it funny. This is just like a little behind the scenes action here, but I always find it so funny when women comment on the channel in the comments, and then they try to like shame me for like not catering the message to them exactly. Okay. So yesterday we did 2 episodes. We did the Red Pill Sunday Sermon, Proverbs 31, right? And I want to show you something real quick. And I just want you guys to go to the comment section and talk to this chick. Okay, just explain to her. Okay. So if you just scroll down here, I want to show you this girl. And it's funny how they always think they're so important. It says, hi, 28 female here. Some feedback, I say this with kindness, is actually, how can we extend that? Give me a second. I don't know why I can't extend this.
Shut up and take my money.
There we go. Shout out. See, we've got some super chats already popping in. Okay. So anyways, she's here. She says like, oh, constructive feedback, 28 female here. Some feedback. I say this with kindness. You can set a better example of men out there. I try to listen to this as a female to gain insight of the male perspective, and you took a frustratingly long time to get through your advertising and eventually start speaking on the topic. Some constructive feedback was also your speaking comes across as haphazard blabbering with long pauses. You're not giving eye contact to the camera whilst touching your face. If this is meant to be a mentor channel for masculine empowerment, I think you would benefit from taking your delivery of speech more seriously. And my reply to her was pretty simple. It's just, you have Wi-Fi in the kitchen? Because I was pretty amazed that she could send such a long message and maintain that while in the kitchen. Anyways, I just want you guys to go over there and give her your perspective on things. Be nice, but I just think it's hilarious You know, that it just it's just pretty funny, honestly. I would like your guys' opinion on that. Real quick, we got some super chats that came in before, so let's just get these out of the way. Leon VRP with the big 10 euro. Thank you so much. Some people still not on the waiting list for Body Language Mastery 4.0. Come on, lads, give yourself a Christmas present to never forget. Hey, those who get in, they're going to get the most value of their entire life because I'm going to be delivering. Man's problems are not political. They're spiritual. As long as it's broken inside, no political figure will save us. Correct. Fix yourself so you can fix your others. Yes, inner game is everything, guys. I'm thankful that Tucker covered the Gonzalo Lira situation. Yes, Gonzalo was my first mentor, and I deeply respect him. Pray that he makes out okay. Yeah, Gonzalo kind of had it coming, though, man. You can't be behind enemy lines talking shit. Like, it's just retarded. Okay, just like literally, that's the word, retarded. Okay. So let's go and talk about what's happening today. So look, there is a lot of negativity out in the air, and you know, and I'll tell you why. Okay, people in the YouTube creator space, guys, I'm sorry, but the majority of these red pill creators and the majority of these people, they've gone off the deep end. They're out of touch with reality. They don't talk to you. You are the real community, okay? And you are the ones that tell us what to do. That they don't fucking get that, right? So I want to talk about what's going on with the real situation in life, okay? Because there is a great awakening and there is a great global change occurring, and everybody else is just, I mean, honestly, it just blows my mind how this space has become infested with low level troglodytes that are only out for one thing only, and that's their personal gain. Okay. That's what I really want to cover. And I want to talk about this because I said this, and I told this to Martin Gaye in 2019. I said, red pill is going to go mainstream, bro. I said, because you can't look, the biggest thing is this, right? And we're going to bring up the whiteboard right now. Okay. I'm pairing the iPad, and 3, 2, 1. There we go. But yeah, looking at everything here that's happening with the state of events here. Okay. And look, I'm going to draw it out for illustration purposes. Okay. So the number one thing you have to remember is that there is no, you cannot red pill someone. Okay. And in the context of red pill we're talking about right now is the context of a person breaks free from some sort of lie. Okay. They were red pilled on something. Okay. So let's just look at this, for example. Okay. So this is the world. Okay. And the world is relatively blue pilled, right? And the majority of people are blue pilled. They don't have the there's no really incentive for them to be red pilled. Okay. So, oops, let's go back. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. So that's the world. Okay. And the world is currently massively blue pilled, right? However, the big thing that changed everything, right, was
Shut up and take my money.
Was the internet. Okay. And the internet, everybody gets on the internet to do one of two things. They either want to be entertained. Okay, that's the majority of low IQ morons, or educated. That's it. It's one of two things, entertained or educated, right? And before, the government and the powers that be, the corporations, all these things, they could lie to the public, and the public was reliant on the television system, and they were reliant on, you know, basically their general lack of awareness to be controlled, right? That's why you hear everything when people are like, happy wife, happy life, right? All that nonsense. You know, you hear like, you know, oh, like it's not what you can do it's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country, stuff like that. Like all these little, you know, zingers, if you will. So let's talk about a series of events that have happened that we're just going to list these events, and you at home, right? You be the deciding factor. Okay. So, and I think this was the biggest canary in the coal mine, but in my opinion, it was really, really troublesome when this happened. Okay. Remember what happened a long time ago with Alex Jones. Okay. Now, say whatever you want to say about Alex Jones. I think ultimately he's a guy that means well, and he's been right about a lot of things. Yes, he's been wrong about a lot of things too, but he's also been extremely, extremely, extremely right. And at that time, remember, Facebook, Google, Twitter, and YouTube, okay, all rivals, all four of these people are rivals. They all got together and they banned him. They banned him off of everything, okay? And these are companies that hate each other too. These big four companies, they don't want to work with each other. They have a huge, huge, huge competition against each other. They're always fighting over for everybody's market share, okay? When those big four companies get together and censor somebody, that lets me know that this guy has to be doing something that is beneficial for the people over here. Okay. So what was Alex doing? And Alex is doing it to this day, right? He is slowly but surely red pilling people. And guess what? What happens when people get red pilled? Do people get red pilled and shut up about it? Okay. When everybody gets the truth, what do they want to do? They want to spread the truth. So not only when you red pill someone are you red pilling that person, but you're red pilling people indirectly, even by people they don't even try to red pill, but changes in their behavior, right? For example, another example like would be the food pyramid, right? In America, how they were like, yeah, just eat 6 to 11 servings of grains per day to be in a healthy diet. Now, America is literally the fattest country in human history and the fattest country in the world. And because everybody was following that stupid fucking food pyramid that was put out by the government and was influenced by the corporations like Kellogg's and all this fucking literal cancer food, like food for cancer cells that they put out there. So Alex was red pilling people. Okay. Next thing, what happened? All right. People have been fed up with the United States government. People are sick and tired of the way things are. They're tired of being lied to. Guess who came along next? All right. Our guy, Big Daddy Trump. All right. Now, like him or hate him, you can say whatever you want to say. 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 were good times economically. The country was in fucking good shape. Gas was cheap. Things were affordable. Okay. Trump came along. And the fact that Trump came along and won, and he fucking crushed Hillary Clinton too. What happened? Everybody saw that people were saying Trump has a 1% chance to win. CNN was saying he has a 1% chance to win. The polls were rigged. Everything was rigged. The entire media establishment was laughing at Trump, and then he got into office. So guess what happened? More people red-pilled. Totally red-pilled. Okay. And Trump was doing good for America. He was putting Americans first, and he was the only president in decades to not start a new war because Americans are warred out. If you ask the average American person, do you think we should be going to war? Okay. Do you think that we should be engaging in foreign conflict consistently like we have been since literally Vietnam? I actually know since Korea, because we went from Vietnam to Korea, we went from Korea. So we went from World War II to Korea, Korean War to Vietnamese War, and then Vietnam War to the Iraqi War to Operation Iraqi Freedom. And then from there, we had September 11th, which if you look at all the stuff around September 11th too, I'm not trying to say anything, but there's a couple. Where were those weapons of mass destruction? Because we didn't see those, right? Where were those weapons of mass destruction? You know who has weapons of mass destruction? Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, okay? The companies that the United States spends the majority of our GDP on. Okay, the majority of our majority of our country's budget is sent to spending money to killing people in other countries. We have the largest defense budget on the planet, and we are the largest exporters of death and fucking desolation to other people. Americans and the American government is responsible for some of the most bloodshed on the planet. Okay. So, in addition to that, right? So that happened. And when Trump came to office, guess what happened? The entire this was super red pilling for me too, right? All media attacked him. Literally all media, all celebrities attacked him, all big tech attacked him. There was a unified attack against this man. And it happened at the flip of a fucking switch. People who are intelligent realize that. People who understand, kind of common sense, like, oh, wait a minute. The entire establishment just started attacking this man that was voted in by the American public. Okay. And that also continued and this was just a representation of the United States of America. This is not even globally. Okay. But they continued to red pill the population with that. And then guess what happened? Next, you have, right? Our old boy, C19. Okay. C19. C19 was the biggest con and scam on the human planet. Okay, this is the biggest scam in the history of the human race. Okay. And guess what? What did they say? What did they say? 15 days to flatten the curve. They brought that nice old white lady in there because like, oh, let's bring a woman out there because the public is so stupid. They would never dare criticize a woman because women are God, right? Oh, you go, queen. 15 days to flatten the curve. And they were going to keep this whole system of lockdowns going if it wasn't for Vladimir Putin invading Ukraine, which we'll cover a little bit later. Okay. So 15 days to flatten the curve turned into 2 years plus. Okay. Again. And I'll just say this right now. If your favorite content creator took the jab.
Retard alert.
They were susceptible. They were susceptible to the programming. Okay. They were susceptible to the programming. That's all I'm going to say. They is not as gangster as you think they are, bro. They took the vax. I'm just going to throw it out there one more time. Okay.
Retard alert.
All right. You'll see. You'll see. I'll be right as usual. Remember, from day one, me and Charlie on the Cultivate Crypto Show, we were calling this shit a scam from day one. From day fucking one. All right. So 15 days to flatten the curve. More people got red pilled, right? Guess what? Now we have something else. Okay. We have the 2020 election, which I can't even freely speak upon here on YouTube. Otherwise, I will get a strike. I got multiple strikes for this. That's why they deleted Sneeko from YouTube, right? Because they are down to their last tool, which is censorship. Okay. 2020 election. Okay. Say whatever you want to say, but I'm just going to play something real quick that Sky News plays. And this is the guy. Okay. I want to show you something. This is the guy who they said garnered the most of the votes in the history of all American politics. This is the guy right here. Just take a quick look here.
Let's check in with the leader of the free world, President Joe Biden, who has had a rough week with his crack addict, whore enthusiast son Hunter facing multiple indictments, but not for all the offences he should be charged with. The Biden administration's ongoing border crisis has intensified, with new monthly records being sent, millions crossing into the US illegally every single year. This week, another record smash with over 12,000 migrant encounters at the southern border on Tuesday. Yes, that's 12,000 in a single day. And that's just the ones that were encountered crossing illegally. But the president wasn't talking about the illegal immigration crisis yesterday or his degenerate son. He was in Nevada pledging billions for a high-speed train line, or as the president put it, how much?
Over $1,300 billion.
What was that, Joe? What was that?
Over $1,300 billion.
What's most worrying is that he was reading that from an auto cue, and we still got over $300 million dollars. Yes, but pledging $3 billion for trains presented Biden with a perfect opportunity to again repeat one of his favorite verifiable lies. This one about an Amtrak conductor he knows congratulating him for traveling more than 1 million miles.
How many miles you use an aircraft for the United States Air Force as vice president? I just read in the paper, Joe, you traveled 1,200,000 miles in Air Force. He said, big, I won't quote him exactly. He said, big deal, Joey. He said, we just had a retirement dinner in Newark, New Jersey. He said, just had a retirement dinner. You know how many miles you've ridden? I said, no, Angie. He said, 1,327 miles. I don't hear any more about the Air Force.
Why does he keep doing this? It's one thing to lie about making money from your son's dodgy business dealings that essentially amounted to a pay-for-access scheme. But why does the president lie about things that have been debunked, even by the friendliest pro-Democrat media, and about issues of little consequence? Is he such a pathological liar that he can't help himself? If Joe's lips are moving, it's almost guaranteed that lies are spilling out, because even CNN, the Democrats' unofficial propaganda arm, has called out the president over this oft-repeated lie. This fact check is from mid-2021. For the record, the dude he refers to retired from Amtrak in 1993. None of that story ever happened. But it wasn't just tall tales about Amtrak conductors in his latest speech. The president also opined about law and order. Oh, this is
all these mass murders, not this weekend, but have been because people have picked up kids and grabbed stuff off of counters, off of the. Anyway, I don't want to get angry.
That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Okay. So that's the guy who beat President Trump. Got it. Was just a little twisted with my facts. But anyways, let's go back to here and talk about that. So again, say what you want to say about the 2020 election, but there's a little of an asterisk, next to that. So again, more. Okay. And the only way you unredpill somebody is by killing them. Okay. Because you don't go back to sleep. You can't. That's the power of the truth. The truth sets you free. It literally does. Okay. You can't change perceptions. And the only thing that keeps lies going is more lies. So you have to keep on lying and keep on lying and keep on lying. So I keep a pulse on what's going on with society, right? So after the 2020 election, then guess what happens? Okay. The rise of Andrew Tate. Okay. Now, say what you want to say about Tate, okay? But ultimately, Andrew Tate, I think, is a net positive for the young men out there in the world right now, because who are their other options to follow? Like, who should they follow? Logan Paul? Who's the great masculine leader out there that they should follow? I do think people like Jordan Peterson are great examples, but I think Jordan Peterson doesn't really embody the raw strength and raw hard masculinity that Andrew Tate brings to the table. And the rise of Andrew Tate, guess what happened? He got the same treatment as Alex Jones. These people all collectively came together because they couldn't control him. Andrew Tate literally took over the fucking world. He took over the whole fucking world with using the TikTok algorithm. It's genius. It was a genius plan. And then what did they do? Not only did they block him, but then they false imprisonment on him. Okay? Because they're getting desperate. And guess also who's dealing with bullshit right now, right? Trump. And what's funny is like the Democratic Party, a majority of these people that are filing all these charges against the Democratic Party they're using black people in the Democratic Party to file these charges against Trump, so that if they backfire or they fall, guess who takes a hit? The black person who did it. That fucking AG up in New York, the woman in Georgia, the list goes on and on. Okay. So again, the Democratic Party showing their true colors. They don't give a fuck about black people at all. They look at black people as voting pawns. Okay. If you think the government is coming to save you, you're a goddamn fool. You're a goddamn fool. Okay. And so again, more red pilling is happening. Okay. And then let's continue down the pattern. Now let's continue down the pattern here. Okay. So this is going to keep on going. But so from there, the rise of Andrew Tate, then comes Elon Musk buying Twitter. And every fucking loser, armchair, neckbeard, 240-pound fat motherfucker on Reddit was saying Elon Musk was going to fail. And then, dude, do you guys know at some points, 10% of the entire internet audience is on Twitter now? 10% of all people online are logged in to fucking Twitter and using it. That's fucking insane. Okay. And Elon Musk came out, and what did he come out with? Remember, he came out with the Twitter files when they found out what we all knew. They were shadow banning the truth. They were shadow banning people who were, anti-lockdown, people who were anti-mask, people who were anti-vax, all that stuff. The Twitter files show that they were shadow banning these people, and Facebook is shadow banning. YouTube shadow banning my channel. Okay, I have 233,000 followers on YouTube, and you're telling me right now we're broadcasting, and only a few there's like 250 of you guys watching live right now. So you're telling me less than 1% of my audience has received a notification to come in here? And I don't know what's going on with Rumble, but Rumble in Japan is like, I don't know if it's down. I don't even know if I'm broadcasting on Rumble, guys. Okay. So the Twitter files came out again, and the whole world is now loving Twitter. Twitter was not making profit. Twitter was circling the fucking drain. And again, the red pilling just continues and continues and continues and continues. Okay. Now let's talk about something else, right? Let's talk about the biggest one that kind of was connected to C19 and then the 2020 election. I want to bring that back here as well. Okay. The vax. Now, everybody said, take 2 vaccines, lockdowns are over, you never have to wear a mask again. And guess what? These people went out there, they took 2 vaccines, the lockdowns continued, the mask continued. The one man who cured COVID-19, there goes fucking YouTube going to today's station. Anyways, the one man to cure it was Vladimir Putin by invading Ukraine. And as soon as Biden got into office, what happened? America started a new war. Now we're in war in Ukraine, and we're sending billions billions of dollars to Ukraine, and we're sending billions of dollars to Israel, while our borders are wide open. There are millions of people coming illegally into America every day, thanks to Biden's open border policy. Prices are up, and prices are up because taxation is through the fucking roof. Okay? Because the government is just an over-bloated, useless organization. Now, again, and I'm going to talk about this later this week, how they're starting to say like people in the manosphere are domestic terrorists, and people are like, spreads like, oh, we're afraid. Like, they're going to come for us. I'm not afraid, okay? Because if they come for me and they kill me, whatever, guess what? Then I'm dead. I don't have to deal with it. But I'll be a martyr. And at the same time, I also know this. The United States government's legacy is failure. It's failure. War on drugs, failure. Vietnam War, failure. All the bullshit we were doing in the Middle East, failure. The retreat from Afghanistan, failure. The fucking war on marijuana. They couldn't even stop marijuana from coming into the goddamn country. The war on piracy. Okay, good luck. Yeah, you're going to stop people from downloading things illegally? Let's see, the oldest piracy site in the world, piratebay.org, still up? Oh, okay, solid. You guys doing a really great job. Really, 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 really great job. Okay? So, in addition to that, okay? So then, let's talk about this too. Pop culture. 2017 was a pinnacle moment when you have the Star Wars brand tanking. Because why? They injected it with feminism, and it completely failed. There is a huge online resistance of these fucking nerds that love comic books, that love Star Wars, that love Star Trek, and are just watching this stuff being mutilated, including Lord of the Rings and all that stuff. Okay? This thing is led to the most common thing said in these communities. Go woke, go broke. Get woke, go broke. Okay? Because woke is for fucking losers. It's a person with no identity who's a lazy, useless human being, which, that's the majority of at least 50% of them. So the last tool that they used, which was censorship. They used it on Alex Jones, and Alex Jones is still prominent as a motherfucker. They used it on Trump. Trump is still prominent as a motherfucker. They used it on Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is still prominent as a motherfucker. Now they're trying to come for Elon Musk, and he's fighting back. Okay. And when you make these attacks, people see it. People watch. Okay. People watch this stuff, and they're not stupid. There is a great awakening happening. Okay. And I'm going to show you something in addition to all of this. Okay. But you see this, there's a critical mass reaching. Like, the thing they're doing now is they're playing whack-a-mole, and they're trying to stop people from rising up. They're trying to stop people from spreading the truth. They're trying to keep you sick, fat, dumb, stupid, poor, and unhealthy. That's what they're trying to do. Okay? And so that right there is what's happening. So they also, actually, sorry, there's so much on this fucking map, I can't even fit it all. Okay? The number one television show in the world, in the United States of America, you know what it was? It was our boy, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox News. And they tried suing him. And guess where he went? He went to X. And now he has one of the most viewed shows, triple what he was getting on fucking Fox News. Okay? So, again, with the Tucker Carlson situation, they're just red pilling people, man. People are waking up. They sent Trump to jail, and his approval rate with the black community went through the fucking roof. There is a dude out there wearing a shirt that said "niggas for Trump." Can you believe that? Can you just believe that for 1 second? Okay. The man goes to jail and his approval rating goes through the fucking roof. Okay. Through the fucking roof. He's got street cred now. The man's been locked up. Okay. And then in addition to all this, you have new people like Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay. Who's also talking about what we've been talking about online for the longest. Luis Torres is Trump the first black president. Oh, man. Okay. So you have all of that. Look at that. Okay. So there's so much more that I can add to this. The failure of DC Comics to get anything together as an organization because they're too busy playing the woke fucking politics game as well. Okay. So now I'm going to show you a couple of other things that are connected to all of this, right? And the biggest one and the most recent one is President Milei of Argentina. Okay. And then also, if you want to throw another thing in there, which you can't really say anything about this, but the Bolsonaro presidency of Brazil, and there's an asterisk against their election as well, who the rival was funded by none other than your boy, George Soros. Okay. So I have a lot more to go. These guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. I kind of got excommunicated from some of the leaders of the manosphere because I wouldn't jump in line and worship them and be like, oh yes, you're almighty, you're the great one, right? They want little lackeys around them. But a real leader wants people to rise up. Okay. When I saw Myron Gaines make the Fresh and Fit podcast and skyrocket into mainstream and skyrocket into highest levels of prominence, you think I was like, hey Myron, you need to stop doing that. You need to like come work for me again. Money Muscles Game Frame. When I saw Andrew from The Legal Mindset doing 30,000 people live when he was covering the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard stream, you think I called him Andrew like, no, you need to come, you need to stay under me. A real leader allows his people that he teaches to surpass him, and he looks on with pride. And right now, that's just not what's happening. A lot of these creators, they're in it for the wrong reason. The people who built it on the ground zero, the people who have been in this community, I've been in this community since like 2000 and good Lord, since I was like 24, like 23 really. So 15 years ago, right? I was in the trenches of when the Red Pill was still on Reddit. Okay. Now, in addition to that, yeah, and then you talk about the prevalence of BRICS. You talk about the prevalence of Bitcoin. You talk about the situation, how the Federal Reserve, the M2 money supply is no longer publicly available for the public to see because the amount of money that they're printing is astronomical. Okay. So now, looking at everything, there's so much more to bring to the table. And I want to show you this. This is President Javier Milei's first act in office. Now, it is in Spanish, but please understand he's the president of Argentina, where they speak Spanish as their primary language. However, there are captions, and he's doing what is necessary now, because if you read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about it at the time. He says he's like, don't complain about governments and don't complain about things, because eventually their time of usefulness will pass. Okay. And look, the government's legacy is failure. The DMV is a failure. Obamacare is a failure. Okay. The United States has the Department of Education, some of the largest education budget on the planet. American people are some of the fattest and dumbest motherfuckers on the earth. And that's just objectively speaking. Our population is getting dumber because we want to teach children like drag queen story hour and shit like this, and our kids can't even do math. We can't even balance our calories. Do you know in Japan, I was an elementary school teacher for a while in Japan. Do you know from age 5 and 6, they teach the kids, this is what calories are. This is what proteins are. This is what carbs are. These are what fats are. This is your food. It's locally sourced from this farm over here Shimane Prefecture or Ehime Prefecture or whatever. And they educate the children. Like when I saw the Japanese education system, I was just like, holy shit. Like we are fucked as in America. Like, guys, just think about this for everybody. Okay. The backbone of the society, wherever you are, is engineers, having engineers. Okay. For every one engineer that America produces, China produces 20,000. 20,000. Okay. Imagine you went out into a field with a sword and a shield, and it's you, one man, versus 20,000 people. You're fucked. You are totally fucked. You are irrefutably, mathematically, and undeniably fucked. Okay. That's what's happening. And the thing is this, though, with the internet and people seeking truth at an all-time high, okay, even women are waking up and like, feminism is a lie. I hate my life. I hate being a boss babe. I'm alone. I'm depressed. But guess who comes along? Oh, wait, we told you to be a boss babe. You're alone and depressed. Guess what? We've got some pharmaceutical drugs for you that'll take that depression away, because you know why? Because the patriarchy and men, they are the ones making you depressed. You are the victim, and we have the solution for you. Okay? Take a look here at his first act as president in Argentina. Okay? This is him. This is from the Twitter account, End Wokeness. President Javier Milei's first act in office was an order cutting the Argentine government from 21 departments down to 9. Okay, take a look here.
Ministerio de Turismo y Deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera. Aunque te resistas. Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología e Innovación, afuera. Ministerio de Trabajo, Empleo y Seguridad Social, afuera. Ministerio de Educación, Adoctrinamiento, afuera. Ministerio de Transporte, afuera. Ministerio de Salud, afuera. Ministerio de Desarrollo Social, afuera. Se acabó el curro de la política. ¡Viva la libertad, carajo! Ministerio de Turismo.
So, that like the message that he is doing is, it's true. I mean, he's saying it. And like, guys, I'm just gonna let you know about my situation behind the scenes. Okay. I'm in the highest tax bracket. Okay. I have to pay 37% of all of my income to the United States government, where I do not even live. I live in Japan, and I have to pay taxes to the country that I'm from, that I do not even live. I have to pay 37% of my income. Okay. So if I make $100,000, I have to take $37,000 and give that money to the United States government, or I will go to prison. How in any galaxy does that make sense? In addition to that, I do not condone of the endless wars and killing of children, women, and innocent people in other countries. Okay, these people aren't knocking at our door and like trying to take us over. I do not endorse that. Why do I have no say over my money? Why? Why do I have to pay to finance bloodshed? People are waking up. Okay, it's an overbloated, disgusting situation that people are just sick and tired of. Okay, which leads me to this, and I think I'm going to play this again. This is Vivek Ramaswamy, okay, where he went mainstream by saying the following things. And whether he wins or not, guess what? This guy's the same age as me. I'm ashamed of myself just because he's the same age as me, and he's accomplished so much more. But hey, I got to do my part, which is helping out the bros here on the Modern Life Dating channel, okay? But just listen to what he's saying. He's spreading the truth. And I'll say this too, okay? The whole transgender agenda, because that's what it is, because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry where they're now tricking little girls who are under the age of 18 to permanently cut off their breast, Okay. Can you imagine being a parent and taking your daughter to a facility and where she says she thinks she's a boy and she's 15, 16, 17 years old, and you can't even wipe your ass correctly without getting all the shit out of your fucking nasty underwear. But you want to go, you can't even buy cigarettes, you can't even buy a gun, you can't even go to war, you can't even buy alcohol, you can't even fucking drive. But you can make you can make a choice to mutilate your body and cut off parts of your body. And what galaxy does that make sense? We haven't even gotten into the divorce courts and how this system has been completely weaponized by bad women. I'm not saying all women are bad, but there's a large percentage, there's a good percentage of women out there that will baby trap a man, that will make false accusations, that will say that he's doing indecent acts to children, and they know that the state will come because the state will continue to act to justify its existence, whether it's true or not. They just need to justify their existence. Okay. Now, just look what Vivek said, because this is totally based, and I'm just gonna play the full thing. It's 6 minutes long. I'm gonna try and speed it up a little bit to like we'll do like 1.25, but listen to here.
Corrupt when you left the UN. After you left the UN, you became a military contractor. You actually started joining service on the board of Boeing, whose back you scratched for a very long time, and then gave foreign multinational speeches like Hillary Clinton is, and now you're a multimillionaire. That math does not add up. It adds up to the fact that you are corrupt. Identity politics. This new religion that says your race, your gender, and your sexuality are your identity. It is anti-American. It is meritocratic. It's anti-meritocratic, and it is dividing this country to a breaking point. But it's even worse when Republicans try to play the same game. And Nikki Haley's campaign launch video sounded like a woke Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light ad talking about how she would kick in heels. At the first debate, she said that only a woman can get this job done. That's what she said. After the third debate, when I criticized Ronna McDaniel after 5 failed years of leadership of this party and criticized Nikki for her corrupt foreign dealings as a military contractor, she said that I have a woman problem. Nikki, I don't have a woman problem. You have a corruption problem. And I think that that's what people need to know. Nikki is corrupt. This is a woman who will send your kids to die so she can buy a bigger house. This is the problem. Using identity politics.
And I just want to point out the body language real quick. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Look at this woman is a fucking piece of shit, bro. Okay, look at her. When Vivek, I'm going to rewind this so you guys can look at the body language. Please pay attention to this. Okay, look at the body language. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to make myself smaller so you guys can pay attention at home. Okay, look at this. When he starts calling her out, she's pursing her lips, which is like holding her lips. She's holding back a smile and she's holding back a laugh. Look at her. She thinks it's funny about the things he's saying because these people don't care about you. Okay, you know it's the number one way to find a moron on this planet. Somebody who says they want to be politically correct. You want to be politically correct. You want to emulate the largest scumbags on the fucking planet. Politicians are the largest scumbag, like dirtbag humans. Not all of them, but a large percentage of them are. Because it's a cakewalk. They have a monopoly on violence. They can fucking get a judge to sign a paper and be like, you're a terrorist, and lock you up. Look, watch her. Watch her here. Watch her face. Watch her mouth. Look how she's holding back her smile like she's about to laugh when he's talking about sending people to go off and die. And if you look, and here's another fucking red pill, okay? To all my veterans, you guys know I have a lot of veterans. Dude, there are high level military people in my community. There are multiple Navy SEALs. There are fighter pilots, okay? You have to be a fucking...
Shut up and take my money.
You have to be a fucking genius to be a fighter pilot. Paul, Apex Mindset, like literal alpha male killer. Sorry to just be very crass about it, okay? The VA and the absolute disgusting neglect that the VA is like the Veterans, is the Veterans Association. I'm sorry with that, but the VA is like where after you finish your time at the military, they're supposed to take care of you. These people neglect our soldiers. They have these fucking pumped up ads. Join the military, serve your country, do this, do this. They use and abuse and leave these men broken and desolate and without a future. They don't give a fuck about these people. You want to talk about the self-deletion rate post people getting out of the military? It's disgusting. It's totally disgusting because it is a system that is set up to use and abuse the young men of America for the gain of these politicians, for these wars that nobody wants. If there was if we voted on wars, dude, there would be a unanimous no in America. It would be 90% to 10%. People, all the women would vote no. That's like the one thing they would vote on. That's great. Okay. They would be no. But look at her when he talks about going to sending these people to war. She doesn't even know the provinces that the United States government is involved in Ukraine. None of these people do. Okay. None of these people do. Watch the body language. Okay.
Like a woke Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light ad talking about how she would kick in heels. At the first debate, she said that only a woman can get this job done. That's what she said. After the third debate, when I criticized Ronna McDaniel after 5 failed years of leadership of this party and criticized Nikki for her corrupt foreign dealings as a military contractor, she said that I have a woman problem. Nikki, I don't have a woman problem. You have a corruption problem. And I think that that's what people need to know. Nikki is corrupt. This is a woman who will send your kids to die so she can buy a bigger house. This is the problem, using identity politics more effectively than...
Look at her. Look at her for a second here. Look, okay?
So she can buy a bigger house.
Look at that. If someone accused you of murdering innocent people and profiting off of the death of innocent young men in the United States military, and she's laughing, she finds this funny, and her only refute is, oh, Vivek hates women. Got it.
This is the problem. Using identity politics more effectively than Kamala Harris is a form of intellectual fraud. And it actually needs to end. There's our donor puppet masters wielding their puppet right up here tonight. This is how this game is played. The puppet masters put up their puppet, and I reject the use of identity politics in this party. It has been a cancer coming from the left, and I'm sick and tired of the double standards. The people of this country are too. Having 2 X chromosomes does not immunize you from criticism. Foreign policy experience is not the same as foreign policy wisdom. I was the first person to say we need a reasonable peace deal in Ukraine. Now a lot of the neocons are quietly coming along to that position, with the exceptions of Nikki Haley and Joe Biden, who still support this, what I believe is pointless war in Ukraine. And I think those with foreign policy experience, one thing that Joe Biden and Nikki Haley have in common is that neither of them could even state for you 3 provinces in eastern Ukraine that they want to send our troops to actually fight for. Look at that. This is what I want people to understand. These people have, I mean, she has no idea what the hell the names of those provinces are, but she wants to send our sons and daughters and our troops and our military equipment to go fight it. So reject this myth that they've been selling you, that somebody had a cup of coffee stint at the UN and then makes $8 million after, has real foreign policy experience. It takes an outsider to see this through. Look at the blank expression. She doesn't know the names of the provinces that she wants to actually fight.
Look at her. This woman wants to be president? You see that body language? If you can't see it, I'm sorry, but she's holding back a laugh. She's holding back a smile.
And there's a puppet masters right there. The donors right there that are playing about the puppet masters. Hold on. First of all, Chris Christie also doesn't know what provinces in eastern Ukraine he actually wants us to fight for. Chris, your version of foreign policy experience was closing a bridge from New Jersey to New York. Yeah. So do everybody a favor, just walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal, and get the hell out of this race. When it comes to Nikki, all 3 of them have been licking Donald Trump's boots for years for money and endorsements. Ron DeSantis, you've been a great governor, but you would have never been one without actually begging Donald Trump for that endorsement.
And you attacked him in your book a year ago.
Same thing with Chris Christie as a lobbyist, begging them for COVID money for his...
You can see, this is just like the body language of a beta male. No offense to Ron. I think he's done a great job in the state of Florida, but, you know, you need to know your place. And, you know, him trying to, like, overtake Trump and running for presidency was like, you know, he could have played the game right. He could endorse Trump and then help Trump get a second office, and then
take my money.
Trump could pass the fucking torch to him. But you see, he's posturing up right here, trying to make himself seem bigger. And then you could see his body language. Vivek talks over him. Vivek is actually the one who's leading with confidence on this stage. He makes a very minuscule statement like, "Oh, you talked bad about him in your book, right?" And Vivek doesn't even acknowledge him, continues to talk over him, and he immediately retreats and goes back to his little stance. Okay, watch one more time here.
When it comes to Nikki, all three of them have been licking Donald Trump's boots for years for money and endorsements. Ron DeSantis, you've been a great governor, but you would have never been one without actually begging Donald Trump for that endorsement.
And you attacked him in your book a year ago.
Same thing with Chris Christie as a lobbyist, begging them
He laughs, looks down in submission, and then goes back and shuts his mouth.
for COVID money for his special interests in New Jersey, prepping him for the debates last time around. The real enemy is not Donald Trump. It's not even Joe Biden. It is the deep state that at least Donald Trump attempted to take on. And if you want somebody who's going to speak truth to power, then vote for somebody who's going to speak the truth to you. Why am I the only person on the stage, at least, who can say that January 6th now does look like it was an inside job, that the government lied to us for 20 years about Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11, that the Great Replacement theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but a basic statement of the Democratic Party's platform, that the 2020 election was indeed stolen by big tech, that the 2016 election, the one that Trump won for sure, was also one that was stolen from him by the national security establishment that actually put up the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that they knew was false. There's a reason why I'm the only person on the stage who can say these things. That's what it's going to take, not people who are licking his boots one time and now Monday morning quarterbacking and criticizing when it's convenient. Transgenderism is a mental health disorder. We don't let you smoke a cigarette by the age of 18. We don't let you have an addictive drink of alcohol by the age of 21. And I just challenge Ron DeSantis to go one step further and support what I think is clearly within the authority to do using federal funds, just like Reagan did in '84 for the Highway Act that said the minimum drinking age needs to be 21. We can do the same thing when it comes to banning genital mutilation or chemical castration. I know Ron's been unclear about that on the federal level. I'm crystal clear. That's where I stand.
Got it.
That's a mental health disorder. That's where we need to be at.
Go ahead.
This climate
So there's that, right? And then real quick, I'm just going to pull up a picture, and we all know, okay, this was another gigantic red pill. Okay. When we had a certain individual get out there and try to tell you you got to do something. If you don't, you better enthusiastically support this, right? You red pilled a bunch of fucking hillbilly farmers that didn't even want to be red pilled. And I love my hillbilly farmers. Okay. I love them. Right. But another red pill, billions, the largest failure in marketing history, the largest failure in marketing history. Okay. Let's watch. Okay. Oh shit, hold on. They want me to fucking approve ads. One second, guys. This is Alyssa Heinerschneid. So Bud Light's marketing VP says she was inspired to update fratty out of touch branding with inclusivity. Okay. And this is what she had to say when she led the worst.
Woman, I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like, we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of bratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
Right. How's that working out for you now, sister? Okay. Let me show you how easy it is to market to guys. This was the most successful Bud Light commercial in the history of America. Okay, just take a look here. You guys may not be able to remember this.
Hello? Hey, who? What's up? Nothing, B. Just watching the game, having a bud. What's up with you? Nothing. Watching the game, having a bud. True. What's up? What's up? Yo, who's that? Yo, pick up the phone. Hello? What's that? What's up? Yo, where's Dookie? Yo, Dookie! Yo. What's that? What's that? Hold on. Hello? So what's up, B? Watching the game, having a bud. True.
Look at that. So easy, so simple. And look, they weren't even trying to be inclusive, but it was black guy, white guy, brown guy. Not that it fucking matters. Not that men give a shit about skin color. All this fucking retarded shit. Okay. So, and then, you know, the situation, it just continues to grow. It continues to grow. People are actually making money now because they're like, okay, let's see what Congress members are buying. So many people, you bought NVIDIA stock right now because everybody saw that Nancy Pelosi, the greatest stock trader in the history of all time, was out here and Congress was buying up NVIDIA because they're trying to secure Taiwan where all the semiconductors are made. And, you know, people are starting to catch on to it. And then stuff like this, our leaders are like, this is shit like happening. Biden is not the only one. This is Mitch McConnell. Okay, this is the great Republican leader. Look at this guy.
What are my thoughts about what? Running for re-election in 2026. What are my thoughts about what? Running for re-election in 2026.
They asked him a question about running for 2020 again.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Thank you.
Okay.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
Imagine Bill's like, hey guys, welcome to the Mara. Or someone like, boom, baby, we're alive. Welcome. Like some hot Japanese girl comes from the back. Oh, sorry, everybody. Jonathan-san wa don't feel good. Goodbye. You can't unredpill people, okay? It's not going to happen. And this led me to finding something gigantic yesterday. All right. If you watched, Elon Musk now has been taking a stand against people who are trying to financially blackmail him, like the legendary genius CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, who has led the greatest failure ever with the Star Wars brand. Like you literally took the most profitable and easiest brand in the world to make money with. The Star Wars brand prints money. George Lucas is the richest celebrity in America because he sold Star Wars to Disney, and they mutilated it, and they injected it with identity politics, feminism, and they lectured down to men, the ones who spent and built this thing from the ground up. Okay? Completely and utterly destroyed the brand, mutilated the legacy of Luke Skywalker, reduced him. People were like, when the movie came out, God, what was that awful movie called? The first movie with Daisy Ridley. So bad. It was the Star Wars that was like supposed to be the revamp. Somebody in the chat help me out here. The movie was called, fuck, it's so bad. I'm so glad I don't remember it. But it was a prequel to The Last Jedi, and yeah, it was episode 7. Yeah, I'm having a fucking Mitch McConnell moment here. I'm just gonna give myself a yeah, The Force Awakens. Thank you so much, Kyle 2020. The Force Awakens right here. And then thank you, Jordan. So the Force Awakens, and everybody thought the Force Awakens was going to be so great. Everybody, the Force Awakens made $1 billion, and the reason was because at the end it showed Luke Skywalker, and everybody's like, Luke Skywalker is about to come back and fuck everybody up. He is going to fucking kill all the fucking Sith. The dark side is going to be banished by Luke Skywalker. But Luke Skywalker had one problem. He was a straight white male. Can't have that in woke Hollywood. Okay. So they humiliate him. They make him a fucking shell of his previous character, who he was in the books when he took on, Admiral Vaughn and the Yuuzhan Vong. That book series was tremendously successful, but they mutilated it. So now, the other day, they had this gigantic meeting on Twitter Spaces. And first, I'm just going to play with you when Vivek he was talking to Alex Jones, and he was talking about the fallacy of censorship. Okay. And censorship doesn't work. Okay. The human race wants what the human race wants. And take a look and listen real quick here to what Vivek was selling to Alex Jones.
Let's take the content of whatever speech it was that's off the table, kids being shot in schools or otherwise. I think there's two kinds of ways to worry if you're worried about the spread of misinformation or false facts. One is, let's deal with the content of the speech itself. And Elon talked about community notes as being, imperfect though it is, maybe the best method out there on the internet. And I think that's one set of discussions to have. That's quite a different thing from what the law certainly looks at as the most draconian First Amendment violation, which is what it calls a prior restraint, which is to previously just restrain a person from speaking, period. And I think that is, no matter what the content of the speech is, it's quite a different thing to say that because of who you are or what you have said in the past, you may not say another thing in the future. And so I just think that those are two different concepts. And I just, for one, just wanted to share my experience of my Alex Jones experience, if I may.
That is perfectly said. That's because you don't cut somebody's tongue out, even if I did bad things in the past.
Well, but you know what? But if people say false things, they deserve to have the consequences for that particular speech aired out in the marketplace of opinions. And community notes is one feature of doing that. And I think that's a legitimate discussion to have. But the idea, first of all, let's just make the observation that if somebody has once said a bad thing, then they'd be restrained from speaking. Most people who have been in a position of prominence in the U.S. federal government would not be allowed to speak again in other forums if that was the standard we were applying, right? I mean, you think about anybody who's been in the CIA or the FBI in a position of saying that the Hunter Biden laptop story was false or COVID didn't start in a lab in China. So we could go down that whole rabbit hole. But
Well, yeah, I mean, as Alex said earlier, I mean, and this is not meant to be any kind of attack on George Bush, but George Bush did say, George Bush II did say that there were WMDs in Iraq. He said it not once, but many times, and that
and a lot.
He did not have sufficient evidence to make that.
And a lot more people died as a consequence of that statement than everything that Alex Jones has incorrect. But Alex, I think Alex, I think one of the things I just want to share with people is that I was actually just curious about this guy, Alex Jones. I never met him, but I happened to be in Texas. I visited the southern border, and I popped in Austin on the way back, or somewhere, I forget where we were, and I heard Alex Jones that's where he was. I said, I want to meet this guy that everybody says don't meet. And so we sat down, and I was actually surprised. We actually aired it on X, or I put out clips of it on X. I can't remember, in like a podcast format. And so for me, it was just interesting and eye-opening. And I think it would be interesting and eye-opening for a lot of people as well to sort of know that there are people who would have ever thought, made some mistakes, said some things that were wrong, and said some other things that were dead right that nobody else was saying either. And the way that we get to the bottom of what's true is actually hearing one another. And when people say something false, they deserve to be held accountable for it. So I think it's a cool thing that, hopefully we're able to have more of that rather than less because of the existence. I mean, if this platform didn't exist, that avenue of sorting out bad speech through more speech doesn't really exist on the internet or in our culture. And so I think that's in response to that, a good thing, not a bad thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and actually, to just elaborate on the public relations firms, PR firms, which really should be called propaganda firms, because that's literally, public relations is literally a propaganda word for propaganda. You can read the history of how public relations was developed.
Edward Bernays.
Correct. But the way that PR firms actually corrupt the media is actually, in a very significant way, is that journalists are paid very little as journalists, but they can later retire and join a PR firm and make a lot of money on the basis of the articles they've written in the past and their contacts at their publication. So there's actually a strong monetary incentive, very strong, for corruption of the traditional media.
Elon, I'm so glad you said that because people don't understand that's how these work. And I'm just now learning about that. PR firms are so powerful. They're full of intelligence agency, former people. So just like a general will sign off on some bad weapon system, then he retires and gets on the major board of the defense contractor for $5 million a year. It's a revolving door. And so that's why when these big PR firms snap and say jump, the media says how high. And you're absolutely right. When it comes to fact checking, they're really one of the most nasty, deceptive groups out there.
Yeah, they're propaganda firms. It would just make a lot more sense if you just think PR firm equals propaganda. PR equals propaganda. That is literally what it means.
And that's what we have in today's day and age is we have propaganda machines running everywhere. Okay. So then the other day, this was on Sunday, and there was a gigantic meeting of all these people who have been speaking truth. Okay. And this was on the Twitter platform. So just listen here closely because this is 27 minutes. I'm going to give a full breakdown and everything. So buckle up. We're here. And I want to just break this down because this is super important because the number one thing that I want to reiterate here is this. Guys, there is a demoralization that the powers that be, they want men like you to be demoralized. They want you not to be happy. They want you to be weak so they can control you. But that's why I preach the principles behind me. Money, muscles, game, fame. It may sound catchy or whatever, but this isn't some marketing ploy. This isn't something. This is for the betterment of all men. The core four behind me: money, muscles, game, fame. Okay, and what you're about to listen to here is Andrew Tate, Elon Musk, Alex Jones, Vivek pops in, Patrick Bet David pops in. I like Patrick. I think I've met Patrick. Patrick is a great guy. I think the Valuetainment brand is great. You guys know my position on Sosnick and Valuetainment money, but hey, nobody's perfect. But I think ultimately Patrick is doing phenomenal work for the world. I think Patrick is extremely intelligent. I think Patrick is extremely based, and he sees the truth. And he sees what's happening. And Patrick is optimistic for the future too. Remember, guys, it's easy to be negative. And in the YouTube game, okay, if your favorite content creator is always putting out negativity and you're doom and gloom and they're coming for us and you're going to be fucked, then how does that benefit you? How in the fuck does that benefit you? How does watching that smut make you feel when you're done? Do you feel pumped up? Do you feel motivated to get out there and change your life? Do you feel like now I can get out there and accomplish my dreams? Turn that shit off. Unsubscribe from those people. Block them on social media. Okay? You can turn your life around. And none of these motherfuckers out here know that because a lot of these guys come from easy histories, easy lives. Okay? I came from fucking dirt nothing, and I was able to become a very, very, very successful man. And it's because I was just like you. Before I was right there. I was you. I was sitting down at home and I was watching videos on YouTube. I was looking for answers. I was searching for truth. And I was able to apply those principles to my life and become a very, very successful man. And that's why I have this channel. My channel is basically me documenting my self-improvement journey and trying to help as many men as possible. And I feel it's extremely disingenuous. I feel it's very evil, quite frankly, to lead people down a path of negativity and tell you can't do it. Just go fucking live in a corner somewhere and be miserable and die alone. Okay. That's not what I believe. I don't believe that. And I don't think it's good to be spreading that kind of message at all. Okay. I believe that you need to rise up as a man. I believe that if you have a hard life, it's a good thing because you should rejoice in a hard life because this is the opportunity for you to overcome your problems and become a better man. And it doesn't matter if, you'll never hear me using my race or any bullshit that I believe held me down. I don't fucking care. I'm a half white, half Trinidadian, fucking looks like I'm a Puerto Rican mixed mutt of a person. I don't give a shit. All I care about is getting what I want in life ethically, fairly, okay, and morally. And that's what I believe. And that's what this channel is going to continue to be. And if you don't like it, that's okay. But if you like it, that's okay too, because I'm going to help you. I'm going to show up every single day and I'm going to keep fighting and I'm going to keep pushing forward because it's the right thing to do. Leading men down a path of despair and saying, oh, it's all over and the system is rigged and all women are whores. And, there's no good women out there. They're just women who hide how bad they were in the past. These are broken and jaded old men who are out of touch with reality, but they'd love to sell you some fucking pheromone soap. Right? Just rub this soap on your body and then women are just going to come to you. Oh, great. Great. So then why are these guys not just bathing in women? Why are women not beating down these fucking doors? Why aren't the guys that are selling these soaps, why don't they have fucking 10 out of 10 gorgeous wives? Huh? Let's listen to the breakdown real quick.
Andrew, your mic, is it working? You got to unmute bottom left corner.
Can you hear me?
We can, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, friend. I'm in the middle of a poker game, but since this is the battle for humanity against the Satanists and the Matrix with its constant deception of the populace, I thought I would jump in and say hello to everybody.
Your thoughts,
Hello?
Andrew? We had your brother on earlier, Tristan come on earlier. Your thoughts on Alex Jones being back on X?
I'd rather hear his thoughts on Elon Musk being the biggest maverick of the last 500 years. I'm not kissing ass here, Elon. You've got big ones, man, on every front. You are literally overturning the entire power structure. I was just going to say this once Andrew get in, but I just want to say this while you're here. You are literally changing the entire paradigm, and you've definitely got the system scared. And so everybody needs to support X. Everybody needs to support the sponsors on X. I personally am doing all my Christmas shopping this year with all the great gadgets and stuff that are on X. But I'm going to shut up now. But I would imagine stuff about Alex Jones. I'd like to hear Andrew Tate talk about or ask questions to Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, Alex is certainly a friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, and I'm extremely happy he's back. I've celebrated that publicly, but Alex nailed it. Elon is taking the biggest risk here. It takes unlimited energy to propagate lies. You have to continually repeat them, and you have to continue to try and falsify information and hide the truth to keep lies afloat. And
I've been saying that for the longest time. And the one I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. King Dre is the one who taught me that. And King Dre is one of the better, wiser leaders for young men out there. If you guys aren't subscribed to King Dre, go subscribe to that man. He means well. And he told me the same thing. And it blew my mind when I was just like, oh my God, this guy's so right. The only thing to keep lies going are more lies. But the thing is, the internet, man, these people on the internet find out shit quickly. And they love exposing the shit, as they should. The only thing that keeps lies going are more lies. And you have to keep, you're a slave to that lie. And it's not sustainable anymore. It's not.
this simple purchase, you call it simple, the purchase of a simple website has literally cracked the matrix in real time, and it becomes extremely difficult now to run the psyops they were previously running and enslave the populace, which is their primary goal. So Elon is a hero, absolutely. And the risks you are taking, Elon, I don't think many people at home actually understand the gravity of the risks you are taking, because your ability to speak freely is heavily leveraged against your insignificance. You're only allowed to speak if nobody listens to you. And if you get big and people start listening, they're going to come at you hard. And I think, I'm not completely versed, but from what I understand, Elon's already suffering the lawfare tactics, which they're going to do. They're going to keep pulling out the hat to try and slow him down or
Andrew, let me interrupt before I forget. I don't give him any attention. The same law firm that came after me with these PR firms.
You've just dropped out, I think, Alex.
It's just dropped out?
Anyone else yeah, I think he got a call. Now you got a call. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
There is a 3-letter agency running this. Not all of them, but let's just say it starts with a C and it ends with an A. Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's liberal NGOs which will sponsor agents of the Matrix. They'll sponsor females to end up in a house party and then lie to try and then put you in a Romanian jail cell and get you sitting with the cockroaches in a dungeon. And it's a very scary world where you get to a point where you're only trying to tell the truth, and they're going to punish you for that using endless lawfare. And this battle has only just begun. But the Matrix has truly cracked now, and it's going to be extremely hard to lie to us like they did before with X, the way it currently is. And I think it came at exactly the right time. I almost, without trying to sound pessimistic, there was a point where I kind of felt like I was losing hope. You couldn't tell the truth about anything. Everything was a lie. Everything from head to toe was a lie. And they're trying to lock us all back in our houses again, and we can finally talk about it. It's truly heroic. And Elon's taking massive risk, and the respect I have for him for doing that is enormous.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what happens. I'm going to shut up. So I want to hear from Elon, but this is so historic. Elon Musk's courage, and it's true, I'm saying, has broken the back of the globalists. They'll never be able to turn this around again unless they have a nuclear war. Elon Musk has broken their back.
Yeah. Well, I guess some people are afraid to die, but I am not.
That's and you know what? It's kind of crazy because I was talking to someone the other day and I was explaining. They were asking about my seizure, how they took all my houses, all my money, all my cars, blah, blah. And I said, you never truly own anything on this earth anyway. You can have a piece of paper that says you own it, but if you piss off the government structures, they just get a judge to stamp a different piece of paper and you no longer own it. The only thing you own is your soul and your integrity. And this is the one thing they cannot take away from you no matter what they do to you. And that is the best feeling on earth. It doesn't matter if you can sell your soul to the devil and repeat what they want you to say, but then you truly own nothing. And
Yeah,
I think
I
that as history books look back on this pivotal moment, when X was finally freed and the information of the world could finally be spoken freely, I really do believe we're on the right side of history. And if you were to ask me if there's anything worth dying for, it would be for the freedom of humanity and to be on the right side of history. So I agree with you absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just generally in favor of civilization and the furtherance of civilization. And I think we should always be concerned that we can regress as a civilization. And if you study history, you can just see the arc of one civilization after another as the.
This is really important. Pay attention to what Elon says about self-development, because for you guys, I think like I just want to stay the same. It's a lie.
Civilizations rise and fall through history. We've been in a period of civilization rising very rapidly, but we should be concerned that we may be cresting, we may subside, and there are many times where I get late stage civilization vibes, and I'm just worried that maybe we're cresting as a civilization and perhaps headed for a fall. So
Well, I agree with you because I truly believe, and a lot of people have said this before me, this is not an original idea, but I think as AI and machines and tech increases, a lot of people are going to be deemed useless by the overlords. And then you have to sit and decide, what are they going to do with all these people who have hopes and dreams, and they want healthcare, and they want a garden, and they want a house to live in, and they don't want to be treated like cattle. They're going to become extremely inconvenient. So I don't think many people at home understand that this war cannot be avoided. I've had a lot of people who understand why they threw me in jail in Romania and understood I've done nothing wrong. And they said to me, why do you take up this fight? Why you don't just delete your Twitter and disappear and drive a Ferrari all day? And I explained that this war cannot be avoided. You're either on the front line and you're fighting for something, or you're sitting waiting to die. You're waiting for the Mongol horde to come over the horizon and chop your head off.
No, I totally agree.
Out of it.
And just to throw this in there, if you read, and Elon, I knew you were doing great work. When I saw you 6 months ago at the World Government Summit, where they're all just saying we're going to make everybody eat bugs and we'll make the decisions to put microchips in them, and you said, we don't want a centralized system. We want a diverse system. We want firewalls. And I don't agree with this Tower of Babel you're building. They know that we go through cycles, and they want to artificially create a great reset collapse, in their own words, to make everybody else poor, consolidate power, and they'll have a smaller type 2 civilization for themselves. And I think you're trying to build a type 2 civilization, or even a type 1 civilization, I should say, for all of us. And you said we need to have a debate about going interstellar. We've got to expand or we collapse. And Elon Musk is saying, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't stay in stasis. You either expand or you collapse.
Yes, exactly. You either grow or you collapse. You don't. The steady state is basically an impossibility. So you have to pick it. You have to make a choice. You want to grow.
You either grow or you collapse. And I wanted to show you a real quick animated demonstration of this. And it's just very simple. If you just look at something like, let's just look at Bitcoin today, right? For example, your life is like this, okay? As a man, as a woman, whatever you are, okay? Your life is like this. You are either trending down or you're trending up, okay? There is no steady state, okay? And by default, you are descending. By default, you are biologically decaying. By default, your skills are always becoming useless because as humanity progresses forward, what you know now is not going to be as relevant in 5 to 10 years, right? So like, for example, people who were selling typewriters in the 1980s and making tons and like millions and hell, even billions of dollars, those people are out of work. I don't even know where to find a typewriter, but those businesses are out. Okay, people who were selling horses and carriages in like the 1900s. And then guess who came along? Henry Ford came along and he talked about the automobile. It's better. What did people come out? Propaganda came out. Oh, cars are bad. And just use this horse because, they can shit on your fucking front yard. I don't really know. You know what I mean? So you have to understand this steady state is a lie.
Civilization, or do you want to decline and collapse? And because steady state is not stable. So, and I say we grow, and I say we expand, and we have more humans, and we become a multi-planet species and a spacefaring civilization, and ultimately be out there among the stars. And I think that is the exciting, inspiring thing for the future. Not a declining human civilization that dwindles to nothingness and where humanity dies with a whimper.
And that's the bottom line. I think it is the battle of people who believe in humans and humanity and want it to expand against people who are so selfishly going through the earth and so selfishly orientated that they don't care about expanding civilization. They just want to control the humans that are currently here.
And Andrew, I totally agree with you.
And an arrogance.
I totally agree. Let me throw this caveat on because I've read the writings of Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab and the Club of Rome. They know we could easily expand. There's plenty of room, hundreds of billions of known galaxies. They know that this is just a seed that's going to not just grow into one giant oak, but an entire forest, an entire universe. And so they want to shut everybody else down because they can't deal with competition from the Elon Musk that come out of the general public. They want a global tyranny so they can direct it and control it so that they direct the expansion. And we can't let that happen because they literally talk about in Agenda 21 the official UN plan, a 90% world population. So we need to go with the Elon Musk plan. And that's why I tell people that get upset. They go, Elon Musk is involved in every advancing technology. The globalists are pushing that too. Well, technology is like a gun. It's whose hand it's in. And so we need the gun in the people's hands, the gun of expansion, instead of in the globalist hands. And so just because Elon Musk is on the cutting edge of every technology, don't fear the technology like some troglodyte. Fear us not being in control of it. And Elon is saying we need to be an expansionary human explosion of competition and freedom, not some new dark age with a tiny breakaway civilization that's only working for itself. Sorry, I'm ranting.
No, but you're completely right, because if Elon doesn't push these boundaries, they will push these boundaries. And once they have the sole control and the monopoly over such technologies, it's over for all of us. And I don't think most people understand. It simply is the humanistic view against the death cult view. And there's people in the world who have no interest in growing humanity, no interest in advancing the species as a whole. Their interest is in power and control. And all they want to do is have absolute power over the people that currently exist and their children. And you can talk about all the perverse reasons they want to do those exact things. But it's truly scary. And all the people at home who don't really understand the gravity of this fight, they seem to think it's right wing, left wing, ha ha ha.
Yes, exactly. They're thinking about it the wrong way. It's sorry, I just got a little extra. But you're totally exactly. This right left it's the wrong way to think about it. It's the sort of the extinctionists versus the pro-humans. And once you see that it's extinctionists versus the pro-humans, then it becomes very clear.
So Elon, when are you going to? I know you got 100 irons in the fire, but when you talk about we need to create a plan B for humanity. Well, that's really
it's not a plan B. I mean,
an alternate master plan, because the globalists are controlled right now. You're trying to wrest control with us, helping. I mean, when are you going to put out your battle plan, or are you already putting it out in pieces?
No, I mean, what I'm saying is that actually, I think we should expand humanity. Like basically, we should have basically more kids. Population should increase, and we should become a multi-planet species and make life multiplanetary, build a self-sustaining civilization on Mars, and then ultimately, this will be long after I'm dead, probably, but they'll almost certainly we can go to other star systems and go out there and I don't know, maybe we'll find some long dead alien civilizations. And I don't think we want to be one of those lame one planet civilizations that never got beyond its home planet. I mean, we gotta what are the aliens gonna think of that?
And I just want to add on to that real quick before we continue, because I do believe the whole overpopulation thing is a lie. Okay. But the way things we're doing it now, it's not sustainable. And we are still using the old way of things. Like we're overfishing the oceans. Okay. We're wasting so much food. We're wasting so much resources. We have, as a human species, we have what it takes to give the entire world mega fast internet for free. We have what it takes. We literally have unlimited energy in the sky via the sun by implementing solar panels. And thank God solar panels, if you want to get a job, guys, and make a lot of money, go become a solar panel salesman, by the way. You can make a lot of money. I'm talking like easy 6 figures, okay? We have endless amounts of resources, but one thing that red pilled me when I was working, I used to work at a restaurant in America called Olive Garden. You guys know this place, right? If you're American. If not, it's an Italian chain restaurant, right? And at the end of every shift, I am not joking, we would throw away a bare minimum of 100 pounds of food: pasta, steaks, breadsticks, Alfredo sauce, fried cheese, all of these menu items. We would throw it away every single night. And all of these companies and stuff are doing that. And the reason they don't give it to the homeless or even give it to your employees is because they're afraid that somebody might sue them using the corrupt political systems and the courts in the United States of America and these other countries. We are clinging on to a way of life that is not sustainable. And the only way it is currently sustainable is if you do reduce the population. But what needs to be happening is there needs to be a change. Like, the Japanese are like killing whales like endlessly. And they're saying like, oh, well, it's a part of the Japanese culture and that's why like we need it and all this shit. And now they say like the whale hunting people are now like scientists or whatever. And it's like, dude, we're just holding on. We're raping the planet for money. We are destroying where we live for money under this old way. There needs to be a new way coming forward. We need to progress. We need to push forward. Okay. Nobody wants to be riding fucking horses anymore. Nobody wants to be sending letters. We have the internet. We have cars. Okay. There is a way to change things to make it sustainable for all of us. There's enough for all of us, but the old way of doing things, they want to keep their money, and they weaponize the courts, they weaponize the governments, and they want to keep you at home, their little unaware slave. George Carlin famously talked about this. People are going to get stupider, and that like the society is going to get worse, and the conditions of living will get worse and stuff. But it was very black pill because he was an old man. He wasn't up to date. He probably didn't even know how to fucking use the internet. But you know, the powers that be, they want to keep this old system in play. They want to keep they want to keep tricking you, thinking like, oh yeah, Democrat, Republican, like we both care about you. And the reality is neither party does. But like I said before, and I said it again, people are waking up. The old way of doing things is coming to an end. Like I would say again, regarding to the United States of America, unanimously, the American population is warred out. They do not want to be in these endless wars. Why is our government sending billions and billions and billions and billions of aid to other country? Why are they not protecting the borders? Why are they not protecting us? Why are people like, police have just like disappeared and stopped enforcing crime, enforcing laws in certain fucking states? You're seeing all these like mobs of people stealing fucking high-end shit from Gucci, stealing high-end shit from Chanel, breaking into Rolex stores, like because these governments that are supposed to protect the people are no longer doing it. Because why? Oh well, it's no longer fiscally responsible to do so, or we don't want to be racist, right? In Southern California, the government was handing out needles to junkies because they were saying like, oh, there's an HIV epidemic breaking out in the homeless drug population, so we're just going to provide clean needles so they can continue using drugs. And guess what's happening? They're throwing these needles in the streets now. There's parts of fucking San Francisco and Southern California. There's literally covered in shit and needles in the fucking road, and homeless camps everywhere, because these government officials don't care, but they do care enough to lie to people, lie to women, lie to people of color, lie to people who are fucking stupid, like their base votership, like they're easily swayed and manipulated into thinking like, oh yeah, we're gonna make the change. And if you just look at these people that are look at these places in America that are like heavily run by governments, and they're all dangerous shitholes that are high cost of living, taxes through the fucking roof. It's just insanity. It's truly total insanity, and their destiny is failure because it's inefficient. It's not going to work. Okay. The truth is the easiest thing to sustain because it's right. You can't just come and put people in gulags and think like, oh, humanity is just going to get in line. The human spirit wants to be free. The human spirit wants to be a thriving thing. People, with the invention of Instagram stuff, people are seeing lives that they thought were never even possible. And there's a divide. There's people that get angry and hate the people that have stuff. And there's another half of people who are like, I want to level up. I want to do what's possible. I want to become something better than I am now. I want to push myself forward. And therefore, when you push yourself forward, you push the human race forward. Okay. And you're seeing a backlash against all this stuff. And again, look at stuff like the body positivity movement. Who famously led this? Dove. Who's the consumer based Dove? It's women. And they're saying, oh, you're beautiful at any weight and you can be fat. And if men don't like you, it's because they're insecure. They have a small dick, whatever shaming tactic they need to do. But now what's happening? These plus size models are dying at age 37. These plus size models are dying in their fucking mid 30s. Not sustainable for these people who are buying into these lies. So again, what they're talking about, the whole depopulation thing is real because they want to keep their old way of doing things, but we have to evolve. We have to push forward, and that's a big thing why the red pill movement is so big and prominent, because it's become unsustainable. The guys, there's a large percentage of guys are just like, fuck it, I just give up on women. And honestly, it's a net positive because at least they're not out there simping. I'd rather spend time with a fucking MGTOW guy or a black pill guy than some blue pill guy who's out there like, oh yeah, happy wife, happy life, and women know better than men, and I'm just a stupid man because I'm white and straight, or I'm black and straight, and whatever the fucking propaganda tells me to believe, I'm going to believe it. And the people who embrace that, these people who are putting out these propaganda fucking hate the people that follow it. They want them to suffer and eventually die. And that's what they're talking about here. Okay. So let's continue on with this. It's halfway done.
It's like we got to make a good showing. Team Human.
Well,
Let's go.
and that would absolutely, that would be certainly disappointing. But it's essential, and truthfully, it's so amazing we even speak about these things. Only 2 years ago, you couldn't even speak about these subjects, but it's so pertinently obvious to anyone who pays attention, and it is scary. And expansion and humanistic views are certainly the way to progress, and it has to be done. There's no other way. Just like a business, just like you guys said, if you stand still, you die. And it takes a few brave people to break the matrix. You have to break the dam. And I think bravery is so important because it puts a crack in the dam, and it shows that if there's people out there brave enough to risk getting canceled, risk lawsuits, risk lawfare, then it's going to inspire bravery amongst the rest of the populace. And it becomes extremely hard to lie to brave people. And I think that that's one of the largest pandemics of Earth today is bravery. And when I say bravery, I don't mean that in any kind of negative connotation. Bravery is being full of love and loving the people around you and sticking up for your community and loving where you live and loving your country. And it's brave to do those things. And it's love.
What do the globalists teach us? Children are bad. We're ugly. Humans create all this racial division. They want us to hate each other, so we just give up, roll over, so the globalists can have the future.
I would just like to say here,
the globalists are short-sighted too, because the thing is that you can't really separate yourself from civilization. So I think those who are sort of advocating, like it's really, I think it's just logical to be pro-civilization. You don't actually necessarily have to be altruistic. You just have to think long-term and say, obviously, you cannot exist in any good way without civilization. I mean, just watch one episode of Naked and Afraid and see how much you want to go live in a forest by yourself.
Well, we're in a super pivotal moment now. And the reason we're in a pivotal moment is because the machines cannot do the policing as of yet. My brother and I often talk about how bad COVID would have been if they had Terminator machines. You didn't have your mask on. You couldn't even appeal to the empathy of the person who knew how insane it all was. As soon as the machines control the policing, it's absolutely over. And we're not that far away. So we're in a very pivotal period now where the bravery that's required to resist the globalist oppression has to happen now. Soon the technology will exist. And it's over for everybody.
We are at critical crossroads right now in the entire future of the human destiny, and I call it Plan B, but I mean, Elon, what do you call it? Just an alternate plan for humanity? Because we should have a debate because the Black Rocks and the globalists are right now in control. If they were 100% control, you and others felt rested to maybe they're in 80% control. They're losing control very quickly as people discover what they're doing. But what would you call the debate and discussion about a pro-human future? Just team humanity?
Yeah, team humanity, absolutely. That sounds good. But I think like. Something that is really important is like you just literally have to have kids, or there's no next generation. I mean, Alex, do you have kids?
Yes, I do. I'm not as prolific as you, but I wish I was. They're the best thing in my life. I have 4.
Okay, great. And Andrew?
I do have a few. I won't let you down, Elon. I'm coming to take over your title. I'm coming to take over. I'm doing my best. You know, I've got to use my good looks for something.
Well, I think we ought to encourage people to have kids
and this is the bottom line argument. This is what is so important. We just talked about how the globalists are ultimately selfish and only care about
look at most of the globalists don't have children.
Of course, because they're selfish.
Here's the thing. You guys are all attacking the globalists, but if you ask...
So this guy, Ed Krassenstein, I'm going to show you this guy. This guy's a real scumbag weasel beta male. This guy is like a huge fucking liberal. Last name Krassenstein. I don't know where the ancestry of that is from. But if you just look at this guy's Twitter feed, you could just see him and his brother. They're just like the most weaselly of weasels out there. And they're just constantly trying to be just anti-America. And look at this, for example, most illegal immigrants are hard workers, but in most cases, they don't qualify for welfare or even have to work an income. Of course, there's a small percentage who are criminals, but according to police reports, the percentage is less than. And it's like, dude. Like, what are you talking about? If you're coming to America illegally, like that's a slap in the face to my mother and people who fucking came here legally. Okay. Like you have to follow the law. You have to follow the law. And if you watch this stuff, you know, this, if his it's just awful. It's awful. It's awful. This guy is just a total weasel, and just listen to him try to weasel his way through this conversation right here and fight for relevancy, because this is all he can do. He has no solid message. His shit is totally fucking dog shit. And him and his brother too, they were like some of the biggest anti-Trump people out there. His brother had to rebrand as well, because his brother got exposed as well. But you know, they're twins, and they're just been constantly pushing this leftist agenda. And I don't know, Krassenstein, what's that from? What's that last name?
Ask a globalist. Like, I have friends who I would consider globalists. You ask them, their ideologies are aligned that they believe that somebody living across the world is just as valuable as somebody who lives in America. And I know, you know,
they've already enslaved the third world, and they're using
but that's not how everybody who you would categorized as
no, there's a lot of
globalist.
useful idiot globalists. But globalists at the top are depopulationists. That's their religion.
So maybe if you want to look at the top, you can take globalists at the top. Some of them might have that view. But, you know, if you just talk to an ordinary person who views themselves as a globalist, they're not saying, oh, you know, I'm evil. They're not an evil person. They just have this belief that every human being around the globe is equal. That's
I would
all
call that an
saying.
internationalist. That's an internationalist. A globalist wants one world government run by corporations.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you can label them differently, but I think if you talk to somebody,
well, Henry Kissinger was a globalist. Zbigniew Brzezinski was a globalist. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but their number one rule is the Earth is too small. We can't expand. We've got to bean count and put everybody on rations. We've got to social engineer and end the normal human program because humans are failed. They want to turn us into factory farm humans. Those are allowed to survive.
I'll answer the question. I'll answer the question.
Sorry, guys. If I can just say, like, so some of these titles are a little confusing. If you say someone's an internationalist or a globalist, I think what can achieve some disambiguation here is to say, like, does someone have as an axiomatic belief that there are too many people on the Earth, or do they not? Do they believe that the Earth can sustain the current population, or do they think it cannot? Now, the reality is Earth can actually handle a human population probably 10 times larger than the current population. Earth is actually very sparsely populated by humans. We only see density because if we're in a dense urban environment like New York or Boston, London or something like that. But if like, here would be like a good test. If you took a plane from LA to New York and you try to drop a bowling ball and hit somebody, your chances of success are basically zero.
You'd have to drop 10,000 bowling balls, maybe.
Yes, you just and I'll tell you sort of something that may scare people a little bit is that there are thousands of objects falling onto Earth from space all the time. But how often do you hear about someone actually getting hit by falling by meteorites?
Absolutely. There's one known case of a woman with her house getting hit by one.
Elon, yeah. I want to just respond to Ed actually for a second, because again, when it comes, I think it's good to get a good counter view here. I think that there's two different things going on, Ed. I know what you're trying to say, but there's a separate point about your obligations, right? So you can, and I believe everything has been said about the importance.
This is Vivek, the Indian guy that was just on the screen earlier.
Of expansionism for humanity being pro-civilization, and expansion pro-human race to win. That's like a separate axis, though, from saying where are your obligations where you are, right? So we talked about procreation and family. Then we talked about the nation. Well, look, I have two kids. As a father, my moral obligation, I believe, is first and foremost to my family. And then, let's say, as a president, my moral obligation is to the citizens of the nation that I lead. And then you can worry about hunger in the Congo or whatever else needs to happen in the Darfur or in other places. And so I don't think that you're saying necessarily that life...
Charity begins at home.
Exactly. And that's not saying that life abroad is any less valuable inherently. And so when you say, like, the globalist view is that all it's saying is that all life is equal wherever it is on Earth, it's not like, I think an alternative view is countering that. There's also just a separate place in terms of where you're situated. Where's your obligation, right? As a father, it's to your family. As a president, it's to your country. And just because you believe that's your hierarchy of your obligations means somebody else is the leader of one of those other countries. And that's an obligation that they have too. But that's like a different discussion.
Well, the neoliberals in their own PR, they're the ones doing the worst things on the earth. They just say, oh, we want global government because we want to give Africa's representation. Then they lock them down for 3 years and starve 30 million of them to death, and then organize them to flood us as a political underclass. This is cold.
I just think I think Alex Jones gets such a fucking bad rep. Do you see how smart and fucking data driven he is with what he says? You know, he's like, he just says that about the Africans. Listen to what he says about the Africans one more time. Here, I'm gonna rewind it.
Country. And just because you believe that's your hierarchy of your obligations means somebody else is the leader of one of those other countries. And that's an obligation that they have too. But that's like a different discussion.
Well, the neoliberals in their own PR, they're the ones doing the worst things on the earth. They just say, oh, we want global government because we want to give Africa's representation. Then they lock them down for 3 years and starve 30 million of them to death, and then organize them to flood us as a political underclass. This is cold-blooded Henry Kissinger State Department Memorandum 200. I mean,
it's not black and white.
I think there's two different conversations.
But what is black and
wait?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Andrew. Go ahead, Andrew, and then we'll go to Dave. Andrew.
What I do believe is black and white is simply, if you read a history book, you'll see the worst things that humanity have ever done have been done with good intentions. That's what's so bad about evil acts, is that people think they're doing the right thing. And that's the most dangerous thing about it. And this idea that they look at all human life as sacred and all the same, I actually disagree. I think the reason they will prioritize people in a third world country, for example, you'll say it's because they see us as equal. I think it's because they see us now as spoiled and annoying. They don't like that we need pensions and living space and healthcare. They simply want slaves in a robot class, and they'll do anything it takes to get it, and they'll get it from anywhere they can. And when someone comes along and says, well, my intentions are good, I'm not interested in that, because you can name any Holocaust or any atrocity in history. The people didn't think they were the bad guys. They often thought they were the good guys. And I guess the easy way to look at life is you want to be having as many children as possible. You want to pray other people do the same, and you want those people to enjoy freedom. And anyone who's coming along restricting speech, restricting access to certain things, restricting movement, all they're doing is trying to restrict so they can control. And nobody in a history book ever who did that either was the good guy. I think it's very clear to see who's on the right side of history and who isn't. And I advocate freedom for everybody. If I had disagreed with absolutely everything Alex said, I'd still be glad he's back on X. And these people can't even handle a different opinion. Do you think they're going to allow the people who have a different opinion to them to share water or share food or share anything else once they have
And the reason they
control?
don't want another opinion is they want to misrepresent what Elon Musk or Andrew Tate or Vivek Ramaswamy or any of, I'm telling you, they want us silenced so they can lie about what we said.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Hold on. Jackson, I'm going to go to you right after Dave.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I agree that with you there. I think that a lot of the media and a lot of these platforms do want to silence voices because they want their voice to be heard louder. So yeah, I definitely hear you there. I definitely don't. I definitely, as when it comes to globalists, I think, it's not black and white. You're not either a globalist or you're not. I think people fall in between, and there's different reasons for why people might feel one way about one. You could.
I instinctively want to beat this man when I hear his voice. Just throwing that out there.
Say globalist idea and another. So I mean, I don't like painting people like, with a black and white pen, because I feel that everybody falls somewhere in the middle.
All I know is this, that there are people that want a corporate world government whose aim is depopulation and not giving the general public access to technology by lying about resources and literally saying carbon dioxide that plants breathe is evil, and then telling us the world's going to end in 2030 and the ice caps are all going to melt, and none of that's true. So our children basically give up on the future and decide not to have children. That's all I'm saying. Elon Musk is promoting an optimistic pro-human future that the science and evidence shows is real and that we need.
Gentlemen, I have to go.
Yeah, I just want to be sort of exactly. I want to be clear about my position. I'm super pro-human, and I mean all humans. Humans in America, humans in
somebody's got their thing open
and everywhere else.
Their phone open in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's Vivek. Vivek, that's your phone, Vivek. I'm not able to mute you. Vivek. Perfect. Go ahead, Elon.
Sorry about that.
So, well, I hope you feel better.
I feel great. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I'm super pro-human for Team Humanity here, and I just think we want to make sure that people have a positive view of the future, and like I think I encounter a lot of people who have actually very pessimistic conclusions about the future, and if you try to unpack that and say where does that pessimism come from, and I think like these are like good people, like they have good intentions. I think they think about.
And he cut out here for a second.
Come from is believing that there are too many humans on the planet. This is false. Earth can easily sustain far more than the current population, but they've been told this thing and they believed it, and it is false. I'm very pro-environment. Obviously, I might have done more about more. I might have done more for sustainable energy than maybe any single human. So I would consider myself an environmentalist, but I also believe in physics and reality and not sort of being alarmist about things.
Well, something you said was really smart, and I've seen the equations. I'm not a mathematician or rocket scientist like you, but we need the fossil fuels to get to the new technologies and transfer over. You can't cut them all off and then not have it. They're blowing up the bridge that gets them there.
Gentlemen, what I would like to say, my final point, I would like to say, I often get asked by people who follow me, they say, who do you think who controls the world? Who do you think the Matrix is? And I use the Matrix as a very simple way to explain that they purport a false version of reality that everyone buys into to keep your mind occupied so they can extract your body heat from you for the soulless machines, which are essentially the globalists we're talking about. And I try and say that I still believe that we run the world. There's a lot more of us than them. We still control the world. It's just down to what we will accept and what will allow them to do to us. And that's why bravery is so essential and so important. And I know I can come across as brash with my message. But
You're not.
Stop telling 16-year-olds. When I'm telling 16-year-olds to go and get rich and buy a fast car and train hard and go to the gym, etc., because these young men are far less likely to blindly comply, and it's extremely important that they don't psyop the next generation of young masculine youth.
And that's why the system was scared of you, Andrew, because you're doing an extreme version of it to shock them out of it, to show them how to have a destiny, how to have desire, how to want to be into the future. And that's the same thing in a different way.
You're right. We still control the world, and it's down to what we will accept, and it's going to take bravery and love. You need to love the people around you and love the human race and love the place you're from. And I just want to wrap up by saying that I would never kill myself. And if they put me back in that dungeon to starve, I hope you will all do your very best to get me out.
So, you know, that was the backbone of the whole conversation. And I mean, it went on a little bit longer, but the point I'm trying to make is that there is hope. There is, like, the future is good. The future is not bad. Like, these people are being exposed left and right. Okay. And then, you know, people, NHK here says, you are psyoping the youth, Andrew. He absolutely is. Andrew red pilled the entire, like, 18 to fucking 24 population. Okay. Because he talked about the Matrix. He talked about the lies. He talked about how the feminist agenda, he talked about all that crap that is absolute dog shit, lies, and trash. And then what he did after that was he said, was like, there is a Matrix out there. And what happened? The powers that be, they did come for him. Why did he get banned off of Instagram? What terms of agreement did he violate? Why did he get banned from Gmail? Why did he get banned from YouTube? Why did he get banned from literally everything? He was banned from Airbnb. He was banned from Uber. He was banned from everything. He was banned from PayPal, banned from Stripe, banned from all these things. And what ended up happening? He got a contract with Rumble, and he had the largest live stream in human history with like 1 million people watching. Okay. And all those young men saw what he was saying was absolutely the truth. And you can't unred pill people. You cannot. The only way you unred pill them, okay, and they can't have a massive genocide because that's just not okay. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you guys all of that because I just think, like I said, I do think that the future is bright. I don't think that we're going to all head to gulags, but the future belongs to the men who are going to work hard. Okay. The future belongs to the men who are not going to just sit by idly and watch things go the way they're going. And people that matter are fighting back. And then Patrick Bet David said something too. It was pretty prevalent. It was actually pretty profound. I don't know if prevalent is the right word, sorry, but it was pretty profound. And he said that, you know, even the people like, you know, the alphas who are just like out there living their life, like he caught these people's attention, like the system caught these people attention. They're waking up people who they shouldn't be waking up. And the system is corrupt. The system is unsustainable. The people are suffering. And when they're suffering, they get angry. And when they get angry, they start looking for answers. So that being said, we're here now on ground zero. And you know, it is what it is, but like the red pill movement was a big part of this by pointing out the whole bullshit of, you know, women are sugar and spice and all things nice. And like women can do no harm and all women are queens and all men are shit, you know, and that's just been the narrative. And that narrative has been set up to financially extort women at the highest level. Because you look at the state of women since the dawn of feminism, the state of women is at an all-time low in America. It is literally at an all-time low. Okay. So I said all that to say this. Don't lose heart. Don't let your heart be tainted with pessimism. It's easy to be pessimistic. It's easy to think we're all going to end up in gulags. Really? The same governments that can't even fucking stop drug dealers from fucking selling cocaine and selling weed and even fentanyl now. They're going to round up all the men and they're going to imprison all of us and we're all just going to be lined up and imprisoned. That's our future. So if your favorite red pill leader is out here just spitting doom and gloom and it's all coming, they're coming for us. They're coming for us. They're not coming for us. They're not. We outnumber them. And it's disingenuous as a leader to demoralize your followers. That's like the complete opposite of being a leader. You demoralize your followers. You make them feel terrible. For what? How does that benefit the human race? But I'll tell you what it does. It benefits the people that say that. The content creators that preach doom and gloom. If your favorite red pill content creator or masculine self-improvement content creator is not offering direct coaching and direct mentorship through him and his team, what is he doing? He's out here just fighting for relevancy, fighting for vanity metrics, fighting for subscriber count, fighting for the most pathetic thing ever, dollars. You're fighting for money. They got it all backwards. You want to be relevant? You want to be relevant? Change some lives. Get out there and do the work. Help the men of the community. Help the men that are broke. Help the men that are fucking riddled with anxiety. Help the men that are riddled with depression. Teach these men how to get jobs. Teach these guys how to be physically fit. Teach these guys how to have healthy relationships with women. Teach these guys how to have self-esteem. Teach these guys to understand that having boundaries is a good thing. Okay? Guys, as a man, it is up to you to level up. You have to level up as a man. As life progresses, you have to level up. Look at your life, and we all know that one guy in his 40s or 50s or 60s whose life is a total fucking mess. He's broke, he's alone, he's miserable. Don't let that guy become you. Use that guy's terrible life as a warning so you can get your shit together and you can level up. Okay? And I'm telling you, I think there's good things coming. Let me catch up on these super chats. Musa Kaldi sent 15 something. So are you still mad at Destiny and Melina making fun of you? No, I don't care. I don't care about those people. Hey, M host $4.99. Buy yourself an ice cream. Thank you. That's an expensive ice cream. Kevin Lopez $2 super sticker. Thank you very much. Lee H, $10 super chat. Facts about the courts against men and it's a matrix attack. Thank God for the red pill. It definitely opens your eyes. Quick question. Where would you live in Japan? Cheap living. The West is a tomb. Saitama. Kevin Lopez, another $2. And Kevin Lopez again, another $2. Thank you, Kevin Lopez. P-Dubs, $4.99. Facts, MLD. 100% facts, MLD's lies try to convince you it's truth. Like the devil wants you to be God when you know God, the truth, the devil, lies exposed, money muscles game. Thank you so much. Kevin Lopez again, $10 super chat. Yo, John, my bad. I'm gonna book a consult just to get you on the phone. The mod suggested we set this up. I look forward to speaking, bro. Yes, thank you very much. So yeah, man. I just think it's easy to be pessimistic, and the people who are pessimistic, they're out of touch. They're out of touch. Okay. And I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I'm pretty good at it. I'm a big part of this whole masculine renaissance that's happened. And I take pride in the life that I live. And the life that I live is serving men like you guys at home and doing my best every single day to help you guys get up to the level you want to be. People like P-Dubs, all these guys in the community, man. I've been helping people big time. So I said all that to say this, if you want help and you want to join us, we have the community, and that is the Masculine Empowerment Network. The Masculine Empowerment Network, we're enrolling people, men who want to get in live on December 28th. You can only sign up for 5 days because on January 8th, we begin the training. It is live training. It is one-on-one and group training for all the men involved. But you cannot get in unless you're on the waiting list. So stop what you're doing right now. Join a community of men that are focused on leveling up. Join a community of men that are optimistic about the truth of humanity heading forward in the right direction. Join a community of men that got your back. Join a community of men that have the same beliefs as you. Stop thinking you can do it alone. You can't do it alone. Look at everybody who you look up to, and ask yourself, have they done it alone? Did Andrew Tate do it alone? No, he had Tristan, and he had all his brother Luke. He had his whole team of people, all the guys in the war room, and all of his things that he's doing for. Okay, look at the guys on the screen here. Look at me in the Masculine Empowerment Network. All the people I bring on Dude Party. You can't do it alone. You got to find people better than you that you want to learn something from and learn from them. And then you can apply those things that you've learned to your life, and you can see the change. And that's the ultimate thing that the elites, the establishment is afraid of. They're afraid of men becoming competent. They're afraid of men becoming strong. They're afraid of men saying the most feared word that they don't want men to say, no. Okay. So get out there. Thank you guys so much. Jump on this, scan the QR code. And then you're also going to get body language mastery, all these added benefits and so much more. I'll be back tomorrow on the channel. Dude Party is back 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm here every single day. Every single day I am here in the month of December. Even on Christmas, I will put on a Christmas hat. I will dress happy up in like the Santa Claus clothing, and we'll be live streaming every single day in the month of December. Free consultation Friday is this coming Friday. Call me. I literally did 3 hours the other day, just answering all the questions for free. I am here for you. You're never going to hear me preaching negativity, preaching despair. go in black pill rage and all that nonsense because it's the wrong thing to do. I'm always going to do the right thing. And that is what I believe is behind me. Make money, make muscles, learn game, hold frame. You know the name. It's me, MLD. Until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out.